Hey everybody, so today we're going to go over the new X4 frequently asked questions related to the X4 timelines release. So the timelines released basically over 24 hours ago now, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I just want to say I played through it. I have a Let's Play series. It's 10 episodes for the actual timelines content, like within the mission type ones, and then I'm going to do an open world series where there's more timelines actually in the open world, some more unlocks, things like that. But basically I kind of went through it quite rapidly. I wasn't trying to get best scores or things like that, and it took about 10 hours. So for those who are trying to rush through it, you can probably beat that number quite a bit if you're just doing it for the unlocks. And those who want to take your time, well, obviously you can get better scores, work on those missions, explore them more, and you can do a lot more in those, and they will increase your time quite a bit with it. So, and then of course all the unlocks will add to your open world and give you more enjoyment and new features and things like that. So let's get started. Dear X4 players, thank you for purchasing X4 Timelines and for sharing your feedback about the new expansion, whether in the form of Steam reviews or various comment sections on our communication platforms. We are pleased to note that the free 7.0 update for X4 Foundations has been well received, and we continue to believe our strategy in improving and expanding the base game with large free updates. Your purchase of the expansion supports us in this endeavor. So I've been trying to say this to people. Even if this is not like your favorite expansion, you're more than welcome to say, hey, cool expansion, not my cup of tea. Maybe you want to still support the devs and buy it, but maybe let them know, hey, maybe like in the future, I prefer more open world content, things like that. There's nothing wrong with giving constructive feedback, but just don't be one of those whiny people. In response to the feedback on the X4 timelines, we've selected a few frequently asked questions, what we would like to respond to here. Enough with this secrecy. What does timelines bring to the X4 sandbox, my X4 open universe? Basically, they call it the open universe now because that's just how they do it in the menus. Each timeline mission description indicates whether you unlock something and explains that you need to what do you need to obtain it. This just involves completing the mission with at least a 1-star rating. It also tells you where in the sandbox you'll find the unlocked ships or sectors so that you can head over to your current open universe and grab them. So I just want to let you know that the missions, I'm not a really good gamer. I'm not like super good or anything like that. I was able to get every single mission 1 star to 5 stars except the spacesuit bomb one, which is like a puzzle mechanic, and it doesn't matter because that one doesn't have any unlocks with it anyways. But that was the only one I failed at, and I was just going to wait till somebody tells you the strategy for it and then go back and get it. But that was the only one that I couldn't get 1 star on, and it's not required. In addition to mission-specific unlocks, there are also significant additional rewards when you complete the story in the timeline facility. To complete the story, you need to talk to characters, the ones in yellow clothing, witness story scenes, and explore the facility separately from the missions. The sandbox content can also be unlocked through custom game starts. The budgeted custom game start requires you to have completed the timeline story at least once, similar to other story-based unlocks in previous X4 expansions. The creative custom game start, which marks your game as modified, gives you access to all the unlocks even without completing the story. So there you go. If you don't care about having modified save game, which really I don't think a lot of people do. A lot of people do mods and stuff anyways. You can literally unlock it all without actually even touching timelines. I didn't even know they had that in there. There you go. 1, 2, 3, you're done. Below is a much requested complete list of specific items that you can be rewarded with your X4 sandbox. Okay, so you got let me just click these because I know they're annoying and it's just easier. I should have done this ahead of time for you guys. Anyways. Okay, so you got the Elite Sport, a well-balanced racing ship, limited ship and equipment blueprint research plus paint mod unlocked. So I'm not going to go through all the unlocks, but these are unlocked through the one of the missions. The Thesis Sport, this is a heavy beast that is fast and on straight, furious on corners, limited ship, blah, blah, blah. Equipment, so limited ship and equipment blueprint research plus paint mod unlock on the Nodus station circuit. So it sounds like you get all. This is limited ship and equipment blueprint research. So I'm not sure what that means, but Kestrel Sport, this racer keeps going. So same idea, unlock. And Dart, so another fast racer. And then you got the Cutlass as a classic Terran fighter. Yeah, actually, I was going to say, I remember the Cutlass. So that's pretty cool. And then the X shuttle here. Ooh. This one is the timeline storyline. So I believe that's the one where you talk to, spoilers, Boba. Is that his name? Boza? I can't even think of his name today. I'm going crazy. You probably heard of heard him in the trailer. So once you've done all the timeline stuff and talked to the NPCs and stuff, basically when you do your open world, there'll be a mission to talk to him and stuff. So that's part of the timeline story, basically. The Xenon F ship, which is awesome. And that's all the small ones. And then you got 2 medium ones. The Odachi. That's pretty cool. A ship was set the bar of the Terran corvettes yet. And then you have the Xenon B, the barbarian among corvettes. And then you got 2 large ships. The Sapporo, I guess. Deep Space Explorer. Ooh, that sounds cool. And then the Xenon H, compared to his slightly larger siblings in the K class. Cool. And then you also get some systems. So ignoring all the systems that you unlocked in the vanilla, like that came with the update in 7.0, you have all these systems as well. So Hacktiveth's Faith, I guess I'm saying it wrong. Napoleon's Memorial, Matrix 101, President's End, Mitsuna's Revelation, Mitsuno's, I can't say it, Defiance, and Mitsuno's Sacrifice. So to give you an idea, these are, so this was in the trial. So you get 3 of them. I wasn't sure if you got all those in the trial or not, because I saw them. I was like, what? But you get 3 of them unlocked in just one of the missions. Here's another one in a mission. And then 3 of them is doing that open world storyline. So that was a big part of that, right? So, yeah. And it looked like, how many ships was there? There was 1 from the storyline. So 1, 2 maybe from the storyline, I think. Pretty cool. And then you get points of interest. So, and it gets better than that. There's a faction. We're going to leave that for last. SCA Freeport. Hey, don't you sneak down there. A special trader that has a chance to sell wares that otherwise only available from drops, which is really cool. You got Xenon MO Wreck, which is kind of cool. That's just a point of interest. And you got a Cock Obliterator Wreck with the Memento Mori station, President's End, which is pretty damn cool. So those are all in the new areas. And then for faction, you got the Q, the I can't say it, Quantonauts or whatever. If you follow timelines, the girl in there, she's adorable. She came up with this name. Makes her home in the Mitsuno systems and trades using a new barter-based economy mechanic. They are at war with Xenon, the Cock, the SCA, and the Yaki, the pirates, basically, and of course, the robots. Okay, question. So that's pretty cool. Look at all those long locks. So when you think about that, Timelines is pretty, full. And you have to remember all the time to do those missions, the story, things like that. A new system that takes a lot of effort. And once again, I know some people don't like to compare it, but that 7.0 update was freaking sweet. Okay, so question. Is X4 Timelines really just a series of unrelated missions with leaderboards? Well, obviously not. Timeline tells you an overarching story that progresses through its missions. However, it also requires you to explore the facility and interact with NPCs, or sometimes overhear conversations between NPCs between or after missions. We very much encourage you to do this. Completing the overarching story in X4 Timelines also unlocks an epilogue to the story. So after you've done everything, basically in your open world, you'll find this epilogue in your regular X4 sandbox game, and your aquatic friend Bozo Ta will assist you here if you cannot find the start of the epilogue itself. Playing the epilogue in the X4 sandbox unlocks, among other things, the X shuttle and dart ships. So there you go. What is there to do in X4 timelines that's interesting for a seasoned X4 player? Missions. The X4 offers gameplay activities, risky situations that player might typically not experience or not even know about in their open universe game. The available scenarios also provide a quick fix of the X4 players who are not always having time to play a lengthy session or are too worried about the impact of what to do on their open universe save game. This makes it great for experimenting and improving skills. It can also serve as an additional tutorial for core X4 gameplay activities. Now they're saying tutorial, and yeah, it works that way, but I don't want you to say, so this is just a paid tutorial, because it definitely is not. Or it's one of the best paid tutorials I've ever seen. But it's just because some of them do help you. They basically made it so if you're a brand new player and you do the regular tutorials and then you jumped into timelines before touching the open world, it helps you improve your skills, teaches you some things here and there. But it isn't going to step 1, 2, 3 and hold your hand. It's not that kind of tutorials, so keep that in mind. It's because it's missions, not tutorials. How has the development of X4 timelines and the 7-point update contributed to overall improvement of the open universe experience? Well, obviously, they're making all these missions. They're going to be like using what they did to fine-tune things and make things better. The endless possibilities of the open universe are still at the core of X4. Improving that experience is, of course, ever ongoing effort. However, watching various different types of players hammer away at specific, repeatable isolated gameplay loops in timeline scenario has helped us tremendously with improving those aspects of the games. The development of timelines encouraged us to place more focus on second-to-second and minute-to-minute gameplay than ever before. The amount of fixes and refinements to sound and visual, missiles, turrets, AI navigation, docking, the camera, and many other systems will add value to the game that will greatly benefit to all players, which kind of actually makes sense. As a developer, you want people, like, let's just say you come out with, like, this is 8.0, we'll ignore 7.0, you come out with 8.0, but you want people to test certain functions and missiles and ships like that. Oh no, I'd rather just go and play with the economy and wonder why the economy is the same as it was before. We're not playing with the economy right now. We're testing some new missiles on ships that you refuse to kind of test or play. Well, all of a sudden, if you do that fine attunement in, say, these missions that are literally just go play for 30 minutes, test it out, play it around with, mess around with it, basically all of a sudden you get so much more feedback because people are, it's almost like a guidance system of how to test 1, 2, 3, and so that helps them adjust things. And when you got hundreds of people playing and testing them and then giving feedback on that really helps improve a game quite a bit, which sounds like it's just exactly what happened. The vastness of space can be scary. It's dear to our hearts. That timelines and 7.0 update helped to make the first couple of hours a little less daunting and for new X4 players, while at the same time making space more vast and scary for our increasing number of X4 veterans. Is this where you'll be taking X4 in the future? Without reading this? No. Obviously, this is, yes, they're going away from sandboxes and they're going to go to arcade shooting games. That's it. Honestly, that's not what's going to happen, but people are crazy. Put simply, no, this is not the direction in which we plan to take the game more generally. We've seen plenty of positive feedback about our massive free 7-point update, while we recognize criticism of the timeline structure, we would like to point out that one would not exist with the other. There are two sides of the same development process, all the development efforts that we put into creating and also improving the other. Yes, the main structure of X4 Timeline's story takes place outside of the sandbox, but the effort employed to deliver and add directly to our open universe experience and exists pre-7.0 save games, see a list above. As a side note to this, we also believe that as many of the improvements we make to the base game, X4 Timelines has the potential to become an interesting playground for future modding opportunities. Yeah, that would be actually really cool. I could see that happening, and I think that would be a lot of fun. But like I said, once again, people can, you create this little, pocket universe, you can call it. put a certain scenario in, and it must be amazing for testing. Like, honestly, the developer should consider using little testing phases, like actually setting up a scenario within that kind of system, so when they're testing things for 8.0 or 7.5 whatever, and they want some special stuff fine-tuned and tweaked and stuff like that, they could build a very small quick scenario, nothing too fancy where they spend hundreds of hours on, and then it'd be a good testing system that they can then distribute to the players during the beta, and then they can mess around and test with it. I think that would be a brilliant idea. Anyways, so with 7.0 and X4 timelines finally released, we're now keen to discuss our community how future X4 updates and or expansions will return to the model of having more of their content take place in the open universe. We're confident that our choice to continue making the game updates available for free and only charge from new content such as ships, sectors, and missions will allow us to carry on to provide the best value of new and veteran players alike. On that note, we'd like to tease you with a little preview that we hadn't originally planned to discuss publicly yet, but we've decided that we should share with you under certain circumstances, because people think the end of X4 is happening, which is not. We are currently in the early planning stages for a next major step in the evolution of X4, the form of version 7.5 and 8.0. Please note the actual version numbers used here are just placeholders at this point. Over the past few years, proportion of our players who enjoy X4 games, who've discovered us through that genre, have increased significantly. As a result, several key points on our list of improvements for version 7.5 and 8.0 are designed to enhance the ability to initiate and control large battles with a focus on AI support, which is, by the way, something that can be also conveniently developed and tested in some more advanced X4 timeline missions. What did I just say? It's still too early to go into details, but rest assured that we will be continuing to work on X4, and that journey doesn't end with version 7.0. I'm experiencing issues with you. I don't give a shit. I'm not having issues. Anyways, that is the frequently asked questions for timelines. I think that was really well written up, and I think it's good they just gave this information. People wanted to straight up know what there is. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 systems, and we got I think 6. I think there were 6. I think there were 6 in the base 7.0, right? So what is that? That's 13 new systems. That's awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As my count. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I thought it was 11. Yeah, 11 new ships, an entire faction, which is kind of fun because it's barter related, and some other little mechanics, which is pretty cool. I think that was, like I said, this is not like a whole new race and expansion and like, dozens of new ships and things like that. I think it was cool what they designed here. I personally do want more open world content. In fact, I would like to see not just new races and ships, but I'd actually like to see more features and mechanics. Like, for example, they added terraforming and things like that. I'd like to see more of those type of things. Like, let's just say, I'm bored of mining and doing this. Maybe I want to try something different, something new. That would be fun. New ways to make money that maybe are more powerful for a single individual to do, but something that kind of scales up with later on economy when you got like hundreds and hundreds of mining fleets and trading ships and things like that. You're into billions, and then you want to run missions. It's like, well, these missions aren't worth it. Or there's some later on, but overall it's pennies. But maybe they can add a system in there that kind of scales, where if you still want to be that individual person doing something special, maybe they can add something in there like special, like saboteur missions or something like that, but it scales because now you're a well-known experienced pilot. Like, there's so many things they can add, but personally I like to see more mechanics than more ships, sectors, and things like that. I know I'm odd because I keep seeing people wanting more ships, which is fine, but I guess in my point of view, there's only so much the engine can take you, and it's only so much our computers right now can handle, I guess. So adding another 50 sectors and another 100 ships is only going to create a more bottleneck on that simulation. where I'd like to see focus more on the, the core engine and some fun mechanics and things that might not, push down as hard on that engine. That's not saying the engine's weak or anything like that. That's just basically saying that's just how it works with the engine, but they keep working on it, they keep expanding it, and they do keep making it better. And just imagine even a decade from now coming back to X4 and, they might have moved on a new project, but the new CPUs that are out on the market, and then, modding it up and things like that, you'll be able to do some crazy stuff. You might end up having 500, 600 sectors, almost no lag in the map. You never know, right? So, but I like to see, that's my opinion, right? But either way, I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed timelines. It took me, like I said, about 10 hours to do just the missions, like, the out of game part, out of the open world part. And I was pretty casual. I'm a pretty casual person. And I think you guys who, know X Universe a lot better than I do could probably do it in less time. You just have to hit 1 star on the ones that actually give you something. And then, of course, you have to have a certain amount of stars to unlock it. So every mission has to be played once at least. You don't have to have a star on it, but the ones that you want the rewards from, you will have to hit at least a star on those. Yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy our timeline series, and I guess in a few days, once the timeline series is done, I will start spitting out the open world Let's Play. We're going to start brand new. We're going to call it X4 Foundation Let's Play series, because I'm going to do one of the starts that are literally from the base game. That way, brand new players who might just have the base game can follow along. That way, also, if you don't have one of the DLCs or some of the DLCs, it doesn't matter. We will have all the DLCs installed, so you will see other content in it, but at least it will give an opportunity for some new players to check it out and follow along as well if they choose to. So anyways, have a good day. Bye.